Did you do puzzles in your childhood?
Yes, I enjoyed puzzles a lot. I can say it was the favorite thing for me to do when I was a child.
When do you do puzzles? During your trip or when you feel bored?
It depends. Of course, when I travel, it is the favorite thing to do for me on my smartphone. But at home, also, if I feel bored, I try to spend my time by solving puzzles, as it is one of the best entertainment sources for me.
Do you like doing word puzzles or number puzzles? Which is more difficult for you?
Frankly speaking, I'm really not good at mathematics or calculations. For that reason, I find number puzzles quite difficult. That's the reason why I often try to solve word puzzles and play games like Scrabble, crosswords, and others.
Do you think it is good for old people to do puzzles?
Why not? In fact, my grandfather tries to do it all the time. Because in this age, it's very difficult to get involved in any kind of physical activity. So, to keep the brain active and fit, old people should solve puzzles.
What kind of public transportation do you usually take?
It depends where I am going. If I have to travel short distance, I give preference to public buses or taxis, and for long distance, I travel by train or by air.
What kind of public transportation do you usually take?
On regular basis, I make use of public buses as I have to travel to my school, so it is very reliable at the same time cost effective.
When do you usually take public transportation in your everyday life or when you are traveling?
As said that I am a student, so I have to take public transport on regular basis. So to reach my school and to come back home, I take the public buses.
Do most people prefer public transportation in your country?
Yes, indeed. Public transportation is very affordable and readily available in my country, and there is a vast majority who cannot afford to travel on their personal vehicle, so they give preference to public transportation.
Did you take public transportation when you were a kid?
I vividly remember when I was a kid, we were not having a personal car. So I traveled to many places with my parents on trains or buses. So it was our only way to travel, or we were totally dependent on public transport on those in those days.
Will there be more people taking public transportation in the future?
It's hard to predict, but the way people are getting aware about the benefits of using public transportation and the damage the personal vehicles are causing to the nature and to the environment, I keep the hope that in future more people will use public transportation.
What kinds of activities do young people like to do?
Youngsters like to do all different type of activities, but most of the time they want to get involved in adventurous and exciting activities that gives them the thrills and the chills.
Why do some young people like adventurous activities?
It is quite obvious for youngsters to like such kind of activities. Firstly, they have a warm blood and they want to have higher level of excitement that they cannot enjoy by doing regular activities. In addition, they think that if they will do such activities, they can easily impress others in society. Last but not least, these activities really help them to come out of their fears.
Do you think old people accept changes?
No, it's very difficult for them to accept, and I have experienced it many times. The fact is that old people are habitual of doing the same thing over and over. So, when they are compelled to change, they easily get irritated or they fail to adjust to the change. So, that's the reason why they want to be the way they are.
How do exciting activities relieve people's stress?
No doubt when people do the things that they really want to do give them the feeling of happiness. At the same time, when they do some enjoyable activities, it helps them to completely forget about the stress or worries that they have for some time. So, this way, it helps them to release their stress to some extent.
Can you give some examples of adventurous or risky activities?
There are loads of such activities that people enjoy these days. For example, Himalayan mountains are not too far from where I live, and there are many activities. For example, skiing, bungee jumping, river rafting, paragliding, skydiving, and these are some of the activities which are quite risky that people perform.
What skills do people need to take part in adventurous activities?
As we know that there is a high risk of death, as these games or activities can be death defying, so a person must be having a good experience of that particular activity, otherwise they can be in real danger, and must also know how to deal with the critical situations or be able to take decisions on the spot so that they can save themselves or others in risk.